Welcome to another episode of Chef Knives to Go Quick Look Product Reviews. I'm Steve Gimash, and what we have this time is the Harukaze Ginsan or G3 or Silver 3 Petty 135 millimeter. So this knife line has a core steel of what's known as Ginsan, or it's called G3 or Silver 3 Jinsanko. There's a few different names for it, but it's a full stainless steel. Heat treats typically around 61, 62 Rockwell. It's an excellent fine-grained conventional stainless steel that's super easy to sharpen, and it'll take a great edge. So it's an excellent kitchen knife steel. The construction is a soft stainless cladding on either side of that hard core steel, and they've got some interesting texture to the finish. We'll get a closer look at that. Weights and dimensions will vary a little bit from knife to knife. This one is 63 grams or 2.3 ounces, so it's got a very light handle, smaller blade, so it's a light package. Edge length is right about 139 millimeters or about 5.5 inches on the cutting edge, and the overall length is about 265 millimeters on this. The spine thickness, so it's a fairly thin blade for this type of blade that it is, and so I measured about 2 millimeters all the way through, all the way down, and we don't have a lot of taper to the thickness, or what we call distal taper, until you hit the grind. So it thins up a little bit kind of right at the end, but it's not a super skinny tip on this. And you can see the height is not super tall. This one's about 28.5 millimeters at the back of the blade. The handle is an oval wood or magnolia wood with the black pack of wood ferrule, and nice fit and finish, nice and smooth on the handle, really well done. Good tight install glue up on the tang going into the handle. Balance point is right about there, just in front of the choil. And out of the box edge, these have nice out of the box edges. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. They are not shy with the edge bevel angle, as you can see if we can catch that there. The edge bevel itself is fairly generous, which means they've got a pretty aggressive angle on there. Here's our choil shot. Let's get our beauty shot here. So neat finish on these. They've got textured, what you might call a nishiji or pear skin type finish on them. You've got some kanji. These feel like they could be hand chiseled. If not, they're laser engraved, but they might be hand chiseled. Feels like they're hand chiseled to me. It kind of looks like it up close. But really cool finish on it. There's your grind, and then there's your core steel peeking out at the edge. Here's the left side of the blade. This has some embossed kanji on it. Come on, camera. There we go. So this has some embossed kanji on it. And again, you got it's going to have unique texture on each side of the blade. And then there's your core steel right there. There's your cladding line. So neat looking blades. It's fairly stiff for the size, and a very interesting blade. So let's take a look at the cutting board profile in case you want to use it on the cutting board. You do have a little bit of gap on the handle there, so if you're kind of careful, you could probably get your fingers under there. This one, though, is not too tall at the heel, so you might have to kind of work it off the edge of the board or off the edge of the counter if you're trying to do a lot of board work with it and your fingers don't like what they have gap-wise. But here's the profile if you're intending on using it like that. A little flat towards the back. You can get fairly high with a little bit of a rock if you wanted to rock some herbs or different things. So really cool little line. Nice little blade and a nice lineup. And the steel is great. And they look cool. All stainless, kind of unique. Some, handmade touches. So it's got a little bit of that character to it. So really neat package. So this is the Harukaze Ginsan or G3 Petty 135 millimeter knife.